Hey everyone, so now let's go over the radius. So here we're looking at a right arm, just to give you a heads up. And let's go on into the radius, which is going to be on the thumb side of our forearm here. We go down and look at the bony landmarks. So like the last video or the ulnar video if you watched it, I'm going to write some numbers and you can write it down on a piece of paper to test yourself as a challenge. Sorry about that car. So let's go. So we'll use this landmark here as number one. This one here, this will be our number two. Here going to be number three. Then we're going to move down. We have three more landmarks. Two more landmarks here. We're going to have one here. That number four. Sorry. That number four. And then make this number five. So let me give you a good view here so you can see everything. So take a go at it, guys. We have five landmarks we're working with here. Make sure you can see that. Awesome. So take a go at it, pause, and then when you're done, we're going to go through them together. So now, assuming that you've already paused, I'll continue. Let's go through them. So number one, that's going to be our radial head. Always want to be specific as possible. So we know that's our radial head. Or the head of the radius. Number two, that's going to be the radial neck. We have number three, that's going to be radial or bicipital tuberosity. I like to use radial to keep everything consistent, but whatever works for you. And number four is going to be our ulnar notch. If you remember, on the ulnar, we have a radial notch, but on the radius, we have an ulnar notch where they articulate with each other. Number five, going to be the styloid process of the radius. Now, let's move forward to make sure we can orient ourselves. I always want you guys to look at the size. So you can see here that the thinner side, more round side, as you can see from the top, that's going to be the proximal end of the radius. And then this much larger side here, that's going to be our distal part that articulates with our carpal bones. Now that we've gone over all the landmarks, we should be able to tell the difference between a left and a right radius. And how do we do that? First, I like to use my radial tuberosity because I know that's going to be anterior as well as slightly medial. Secondly, I like to look at my radial styloid process, and that helps me to know which side is lateral versus which side is medial. So once I know the styloid process should be facing laterally, and once I found my radial tubercle, and that's facing anteriorly. See, this is the anterior side versus the posterior side. You see, no radial tuberosity, even though our styloid process is pointing to the medial side now. So if we turn that around, you can see here that in order for this to be pointing laterally and for our tuberosity to be pointing forward, this has to be a right arm. And I can show you that here on a larger photo. You can see that it is indeed a right arm. So pick two landmarks, one that show you the difference between anterior and posterior, and another one to show you the difference between lateral and medial. And that's how you get to know left versus right.